What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. So today we're going to be talking about Everton Villa, another winless game. Gary showing the badge of our beloved club on our signed
Every
football.
week we follow the boys in claret and blue.
We try. Let's keep it upbeat. Come on. Energy.
You can win a football. Win the football. Sing to win.
Who was that guy back in like the 80s or 90s? And he used to do like exercise classes on TV.
Mr. Motivator, mate.
Mr. Motivator. That's the one. Mr. Motivator. That's where we need to be. We need to get him in the dressing room.
At this point, mate, I've got some lycra from the 80s, I think, in my wardrobe. Like, let's pull it out. Let's get physical.
Everyone, make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on, because Gary, in our next one, will be wearing full lycra. Let's go for it. Anyway.
Oh, God. So, mate, look, if Joe Wicks can pull it off, mate, come on.
Well, mate, with that hair. It was Kukureya's like long lost brother, isn't it? So down here, little QR code. Please scan that for a chance to win this lovely signed football Gary is holding here. You need to donate £5, goes to Acorns, really good cause. We've got signed merchandise as well from Brian Little, Peter With. Oh, mate, that's nice, isn't it? I like that. I like the setup. That's good. Well done. We got those, and we got some children's books as well, which will be signed. And we're going to stop the competition before like the kind of winter break, so around Christmas time. So that's the plug for the ball. Anyway, Gary, before we get on to the game, how are you doing?
Yes, mate. I've had a fabulous weekend, mate. It's all been football. Minus the Villa. Ava's season has officially started, so she was away at rugby on Saturday, and they won 3-1. She scored twice, which was...
She's a machine.
She is a machine, mate. It gets better. We played Long Eaton yesterday morning, under 18, so playing a year up. We won 10-2, and she scored 4.
Holy majoli. Jeez. Wow.
And still got a bollocking at half time because we probably should have won about 22. That the team, we were miles better, and we missed a hatful of chances. So the manager was not happy. He was like, "Look, this is a development kind of point. Like, you've got to be clinical." And I'm like, "Oh, mate, we need you in charge of the Villa."
Well, that's to say, if only. I mean, we'll get on to that in a sec. But just to say, we are going to be talking here about the Everton game. And then we're also going to do a small little preview, just very quick talk about the Brentford game. But we will be doing a live watch-along tomorrow night for that game.
Join us.
Please join us, 8 p.m. We'll be online from about 7:45, and we'll sit there and hopefully see a goal. But I just wanted to say, you were going to say about being clinical, hoping again at the Villa. We need to get a chance, mate, to be clinical. Like we had... Was it one shot on goal? I mean, if Everton were clinical, they would have won that game 3-4. Well, and also, if Emi Martínez wasn't between the sticks, because that was
let's start on the positive, mate. All hail the world's number one. The world's number one.
I've always said,
the world's number one.
I've always said that guy should always play in goal, no matter what. Whatever he says, whatever he does, he should always be in goal for us.
Look, it's like the Duran moment, isn't it? Like everyone's had an opinion on it, like an arsehole, and we've all probably slated him at some point in the last couple of weeks. But I said to you last week, if he turns up and puts in a performance, then it's the end of it. And on Saturday, without him, we would have lost the game probably 3-0. Like so
good, isn't he?
You know, those moments. The save from Michael Keane in the second half.
Oh, mate,
was. Mate, he had no right. He was past him, and he somehow just reached back and tipped it onto the crossbar. He was absolutely brilliant. But the save from Grealish in the first half, I didn't realise at first, but it's deflected. So it's actually even. Again, they're two world class saves that are probably Bizot doesn't save, and we end up losing the game. So that's probably the only positive I've got from the whole game.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely more. But I wanted to start with a really, really devastating stat, mate. Right, so I'm just gonna. This is from the Premier League website, right? I was up at 7:15 this morning, going right. Okay, let's try and put a positive spin, but I couldn't find anything positive, and this is really. But anyway, here we go. Right, this is what it is. So Villa have failed to score in their first 4 league games of the season for the first time in their history. First time in our history. Mate, we're one of the oldest teams going.
Not even with Paul Lambert. Neither with Paul Lambert. Neither with Dima. Whoever. Yeah.
Right. So there's that. Then meanwhile, we are the 5th side in Premier League history to meet that feat. Which can you name me any of those other 4 teams?
Yeah, I can because I have seen the stat. One of them was Palace.
You're rubbish.
Was it Palace one of the most recent ones?
Yes, Crystal Palace in the 2017-18 season.
Yeah. I can't remember the other ones though.
Then Sheffield Wednesday 93-94, Newcastle United in 05-06, and Swansea City in 2011-2012. What's even more?
I'd be interested to see where those. I'd be interested to see where those teams finished that season. You know how like people always talk about like the start and they're like, it's terrible and rubbish.
Mate,
but like,
spoiling my punchline. I've got a punchline to this.
Okay.
Right. Villa, and it goes on. Villa have failed to score in 5 consecutive Premier League games. So if you include that Man United game at the end of last season, for the first time since a run of 6 between December 14 and February 15, which was obviously went into our relegation season, right? But however, so to end it on a positive, because that's the shit sandwich, right? So the last time Emery started this was, I think, 2016-17 with Sevilla in Spain. They lost their first 3 games, drew the next 2, so 2 points from 5 games, but then went on to finish 5th and win the Europa League.
Okay. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's just sitting there going, what did we do?
So maybe Emery's just got it. We'll just lead the media into a full sense of security. Yeah, we're all shit. Like, it's all fucking crap. Like, the fans are on top of me. I just love the pressure. Come on, I love the fucking. Let's see how many podcasts can slate me off and want my job. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Look, I think right. Let's get on it. So, like I said, we're gonna title or thumbnail this video. Emery is scared. A little bit clickbaity because he's not
we are
scared.
Getting close to Halloween as well, mate.
Yeah. Obviously, we're all getting scared. It's getting darker earlier. It's what? Is that a ghost with a pumpkin?
Ooh.
Oh, I thought it was a duck at first. I thought it was like a weird beak. Anyway, sorry. So not scared for this job, but it's just at the moment, it's the way we're setting up. Like this Everton game, it felt like we set up not to lose. Now I will say. Have you seen his press? Have you seen his post-match press conference? Have you seen the quotes from it?
No, I haven't.
So he spoke about like being positive that we were solid at the back and that we weren't good going forward and stuff. And he did actually say something about they were after the Palace game, they were a little bit scared of conceding of conceding again here with Everton. So I think there is something in that. I think he did maybe play a little bit like he did purposefully play. We need to keep it solid. We need something from this game. And I understand that it, like from our point of view, it's like, oh my God, so negative. It's frustrating, blah, blah, blah. It's a long season. We've started poorly. We need to get some kind of footing again after that really bad result against Palace. Maybe there is something, he is a manager. We've seen it before, especially within Europe and stuff. He looks over the course of 5-6 games. He doesn't, I don't think he just goes, right, this game. I know he prepares for it, but I think he looks at it wider and he goes, right, we need momentum. We need something to get a solid footing.
I can't disagree with what you've just said, but I think it's just frustrating as a fan, right? Because here's my take on it, that and my concern around it. Like I've read some crazy shit online about calling for his job and all, and I can't help it. It's clickbait, mate.
Anyone who's questioning Emery being Villa manager, I do not have words to describe you. Like literally, and I understand. I'm going to let you get back to your point in a sec, sorry.
Yes.
But I understand that we shouldn't just focus on the past and what he's done and where we should be grateful for where we are. I understand. I think where we are, what we're doing right now is terrible. Like we are playing really poorly. The players don't look at it. It's no excuse. I don't think there's anything around, look at where we were or where we are now. We should be grateful. I don't believe that. But to even be thinking about calling for Emery's head is madness. It's not. He hasn't had the chance to sort this out.
Look, it's madness, but he shouldn't be invincible to criticism.
No, he's not.
And actually, that as soon as I saw that team line up, I was like, "What? WTF, right? Why are you starting with Buendia, right? And I will say that Bogard was, for me, man of the match. I know Martinez got all the plaudits because he made saves.
From what I've seen, I didn't see the whole game. I thought Buendia was all right.
Well, mate, I watched the whole of the second half. I got back from Avis footy to watch the whole of the second half. And so it's only based on that. But I will... I just... You've had an international break, right? You've got... I understand... with what you just said, I understood what you set up not to lose because of how important it is to just get points on the board at this point because we have started so poorly, right? But not starting Harvey Elliott was a mistake, right? Yeah. He's fit enough. He's good to go. You're playing against Everton, right? A major rival of his that he's had. Like he would have been so up for that game from the start, right? And it could have been the difference. You know, as it stands, we made Grealish the fucking star of the show, who probably had one of his better games. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought we handled him pretty well. However, right, what concerns me is I'm convinced, and this is just my opinion, this is no kind of rage about it, and this is from my time in watching football, playing football, being part of teams and all that kind of stuff. I feel there is something wrong in that dressing room. There is something not right. Like, if the fall off is fucking too big for it to be, and the reason behind it is if you look at 7 of that team that started on against Everton, went away on international duty and fucking performed like their lives depended on it, right? And you come back to Villa and they're all shit. Like Tielemans, I know he went off injured, but awful first half performance, right? Morgan Rogers, right? We've got to talk about him, right? Again,
he needs to be dropped.
Frightening. 67%.
Have you seen the stats?
67% complete pass completion, no completed dribbles, right? Yeah. It's one of the worst performances of the Premier League era.
He won 1 of 9 ground duels. Now, what's mad about that though is that for England, 4 days earlier, he completed more successful dribbles, 10, than any other England player in the World Cup qualifier so far.
So what I'm saying is, mate, my point is, whatever's gone on, right? And whatever's gone on in the dressing room over the summer has affected the players because they've gone away on international duty with different management players and performed, and it feels like it's a big fuck you to the club. Now, I don't think it's necessarily Emery, but obviously it's almost like a down tools. You've sold a player we didn't want to sell, right? If you believe the rumours that are flying around, it's all about how senior players were sat down and kind of told that one of them was probably going to have to leave. Once you start doing that, they've got the biggest pull in the dressing room. So if you've upset some of your senior pros and most experienced players, they can affect it. These guys are millionaire prima donnas. If they don't want to play and they want to get people out, they can do it. Like I did it to Gerrard. They all play.
Do you think? So sorry, you're just trying to interpret what you're saying. Are you saying that they're purposefully doing this?
I'm saying there's something not right that is preventing them from doing the basics well. Like, and not if we're going on positives for the Everton game, right? Defensively, we did okay, right? But Konza was off it again compared to his performance for England on Tuesday. Like absolutely outstanding. Looked like a world-class centre-back. Gets his goal. And then Saturday, he's making stupid, silly mistakes, giving the ball away, holding on to it for too long, nearly costing us a goal in the second half, right? Because it's just sloppy play. But I thought Mings was okay. I thought Digne did well defensively. Cash did okay defensively. We doubled up against Grealish, fine, but okay. But going forward, mate, this is what we've got to talk about. There is no coercion in that team. Something is not fucking right. You don't go from nearly... getting to the semi-finals of the Champions League, scoring bags of goals, to not being looking like a team like that's never played together. So whoever's been playing in that forward line, it doesn't matter who it is, right? They are not moving for each other. They're not working off each other. There's no it's hopeful balls forward at the moment for a lone Watkins to try and do what exactly? Nothing. Even Watkins' movement looked piss poor on Saturday. He was awful. He was absolutely awful again on Saturday. Awful. Rodgers was 10 times worse. He must have tried to play the ball blind in behind like 3 or 4 times and just hit the centre half every time. And it wasn't even a difficult pass. Like, you're just like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. So, I'm raging a little bit because for me, it is the basics that when it's not done on a football field, it fucks me off. Like if you're not working hard enough and you're not like, and you know when we talked about it on Thursday in the preview, and we had Joe on, and we're talking about, and he, like you said, like our back line is a makeshift back line, and we didn't test them at all. We didn't even come close to testing them. We had 7 attempts on goal and 1 on target in 90 minutes. I don't think Pickford had anything to do. Like it's just simply not good enough. But it's not that the players aren't good enough. I don't believe that for 1 second. Right? What I do believe is there's something not right in our dressing room at the moment, and Emery needs to get a fucking hold of it and fucking beat the shit out of it, because it's obviously he hasn't had, excuse me, he hasn't had a lot of time with them coming back from international duty. They would have come back Wednesday, Thursday. They've probably had 2 training sessions and then back into Saturday's game to really address the elephant in the room, like the Martinez thing, what's ever gone on. Obviously, now there is a line that can be drawn because we've got these players to at least January and hopefully for the season, right? So now it's time to sort that shit out. So it doesn't. I would have taken a point at the start of the day against Everton.
Yeah, I actually think the result. I think the result was fine. Like personally, I was kind of like Everton, tough away day, and I know it's like, oh, it's Everton, but they're still on the high of this new stadium. They've started well. David Moyes is good. They've got Jack Grealish and Jai and Lewis. Yeah, Lewis Hall.
Dewsbury Hall.
Thank you. Sorry, Dewsbury Hall pulling the strings of midfield. I think they're doing well at the minute, and we're in a really bad place. So actually, a point, I was like, okay, cool.
Well, I think my concern is, mate, even after I got over the lineup, I think, okay, right, let's keep it tight at the back, and we look to play counter-attacking football, which we've got players to do, but without the cohesion and the work rate and the effort to make something happen, like the amount of times in the second half, Luca, it was frustrating because basically we just played it out to either left or right hand side, Cash or Digne, and either of them would either cut back again and keep possession, or in the time that Digne did get to the byline, it was like a first-time cross every time. And I'm like, who are you aiming for? And it either went, there was nobody in there, or he just hit the first man. The quality was just simply not good enough. And then in the little snippets of play that we did, we had one decent movement in the second half where we literally stretched Everton brilliantly. And we went from front to back to front, and we got in, right? But then it led to nothing. I guess I got tackled. But the actual play and opened them up and thought, fuck, so you can do it. Like, it's there. You can see what needs to be done, but there's no consistency. And then we got in and around the area a couple of times, and why the fuck will we not shoot outside the area?
Like, I don't understand. I'm waiting for Harvey Elliott to just bang one, like, and then just go.
Mate, I can't. There was one moment where Bogard, right, he got played just inside at the edge of the area, and he beat his man, right. And my instant thing is, like, I thought, fucking hell, whip that into the far corner, and he just played a square pass, right. And I could just. Is Emery like telling them what to do? Or are they doing it on purpose? Which is it? Because Emery's going mad on the touchline, right? And if he's either telling them to do it, which is fine, but why is he getting upset? Because he must have saw the same thing I saw. He was right fucking behind it, and he just go, "You've got the angle as well. You're a professional footballer. How can you not hit the top corner from there?" Oh, mate, I'm wait there. Let's calm down.
Right, while Gary goes to the toilet or whatever he's doing, he needs to take a breather. Right, breathe. Let's go back. Goose Fraba.
There we go.
Yeah,
rant over.
It's frustrating. It's really frustrating, and I think the only reason it's so frustrating is because we know they can do it, and this is what's the worst thing about it. And you're right. Like, the lineup came out, and I was like, I mean, like you said, Bogard played okay, and I was like,
well, I thought personally he was man of the match, outfield player. Like,
when I saw the lineup, I was like, Bogard. It's like, bloody hell. And then
he played in his favourite position, right? Yeah. He was brilliant. He broke up the play really well.
Yeah,
he got forward.
Which is why I said that I think Lindelof isn't a horrendous signing, because I don't want Bogard to drop in to centre back.
Mate, and we'll get onto that. But he brought Lindelof on, right? And I thought, where are you going to play him? Right, and he put him as a holding midfielder. I was like, I don't understand. make it make sense in my head. So as much as I love Emery, he's making some strange decisions, mate. He's
really
making
weird,
some strange decisions.
He's obviously taught. He obviously likes this whole utility player thing, and I think part of that is just have cover at different parts of the squad. But I don't think you rotate players in and out in their wrong positions. I just don't think not their wrong positions. They can play there. I'm not saying they can't play there. I'm saying play.
If you're Pau Torres sat on that bench, right? If you're Pau Torres sat on that bench, right, and you go, oh, you're willing to play centre half, so Pau Torres could play that position. He could. Yeah. He's decent on the ball.
He'd be I actually think Pau Torres would be fantastic in that position. I don't understand why we haven't tried that. But
and then, I mean, don't get me started on Daniel Marlon and fuck it. Like, and the other thing is, I'm losing my train of thought. You go. There's so many frustrations, mate.
Right. What I was going to say was, I understand that Emery usually does integrate players slowly when he signed them. But like we said, Harvey Elliott was fit and he's up for this game. Like, he's massively up for this game. And we need that. What we don't have at the minute is a player who can just create a moment of magic. That's what Duran was doing at the start of last season. Start of last season, we struggled, and Duran would just come on, bang one from 40 yards, and everyone would be like, "Oh my god!" And then we'd end up winning, and we go on a run of games, and that's what was happening. Duran, it was 6-7 games. He came on a sub, and scored, and basically scored the winner. You forget about that. Like, if you didn't have
the crazy thing is, mate, is that the opposition. If we'd have been playing anybody else, fine, but you're playing against Everton, right? Who we know the connection. Like, he got booed when he came on. Now, if he'd have started, like, most Everton fans I spoke to last week were going, "Fucking Elliott's going to come on," and like they all know in Liverpool how good a player he is, right?
Yeah.
And what he can do. And instead of putting a psychological fucking nugget in there to fuck with them, we just brought him on in the 75th minute. Yeah. And again, you know what? I can't fault his performance. He came on, he ran his little ass off, but you know what? He was the only one that was fucking doing it. And I'm like. Yeah. There is something wrong in that dressing room. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care all you fucking content creators that think you've got inside knowledge, right? This is bullshit. There is something wrong in that fucking squad. I don't care what anyone says to me, and it needs to be fucking done by fucking next weekend. I don't care about the Carabao Cup tomorrow, if I'm honest, right? It's if we get through, great.
The only thing that would be nice is if we scored a couple of goals and it got us.
Well, mate, it would be nice if you just went like all gung ho, played all the attacking players, and went just go and try and win the game. And if you lose, doesn't matter, right? And try and get some goals. Brilliant, right? And that's all it is. It should be a kind of a chance to probably bring some confidence back. So go and play without any fear, no pressure, and hopefully we can do that. But as in terms of like, if we got knocked out, we've got to focus on the Europa League, and we've got to get to a standard where we can compete in that. Because at the moment, mate, we ain't getting out of the fucking group stage. Look, it just ain't going to happen. There's no like. As poor as that tournament might be with some of the teams, if you don't turn up, they'll take you apart. Like, it's just so it's a bit concerning. But I just want the basics. You've got to take it back to basics. And the problem is, this is where Emery's got to earn his money for me and show how good a coach he is. Because the best managers, right? And he's already done it in what he's done. This is why I can't ever be Emery out, because what he's done with the players that we've had from 3 years ago to now, he's nothing short of incredible, right? But there's clearly been disruption over the summer, right? And that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be like they need to park it, and we need to come out. I expect against Sunderland a performance. Do you know what I mean? It can't be as flat as it was on Saturday again, because then for me, I'm starting to question. Okay, is it Emery? Have they lost faith in him? Because you can't go 6 games playing like that, watching the core of your team go away on international duty and all have good games. Do you know what I mean? And not do the same for your club. It doesn't make any sense to me. Something's not right, mate. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what to say. It is the case. Yeah, the thing I was, and I don't want to be the downer on it, but like, if we don't get something against Brentford, and if we do lose, God forbid, lose against Sunderland, or just don't turn up again, and say for instance he does what you remember when he played against Palace, he obviously started with Gasson, he started with Marlon, and we were like, he's doing it, and we got absolutely dropped. If he plays Harvey Elliott and guess on, because I'm guessing, Sancho isn't fit, right? He hasn't played enough games. And it doesn't really work, and we get not drubbed, but we just don't look like doing anything. What do we do?
Well,
Like,
again,
I understand Emery needs time, and I'm all for, like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying Emery out. It's just a case of how does he get this going? Is it just simply the fact that once it happens, if we get that goal will be such a lift, and I assume that if we do get that goal, I do think not the floodgates open, but the confidence just comes, because they go up on international duty and play with these other teams, and they're also playing against subpar opposition a lot of the time. Like Serbia obviously hadn't conceded a goal or whatever in qualifiers before England played them, but it's still Serbia, and I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying, look, it's a different level. It's a totally different level of team, and so you get those openings, and you breeds the confidence. It breeds it because you get those one or two passes that work, and then you do it again, and then you score, and then the game goes on, and you build it. At the moment, we're not getting any momentum building confidence at all. We're getting nothing. No. And part of it is also, we had the January transfer window. That was a distraction. That finished. Then we had the fucking international break, which, by the way, is just ridiculous. We've got another one in like 3 or 4 weeks. Stupid. Yeah. So that breaks it up. Now we've got the Carabao Cup to try and get some kind of confidence, maybe. If we don't win that game, your confidence is still low. It's just needs to get going. And I'm not saying we need to suddenly be blowing teams out of the water and playing amazingly, but we need some kind of positivity to cling on to give us something. And no goals in 4 games. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be Man City, Barcelona, whoever. If you haven't scored in 4 games, your confidence is going to be rock bottom. And so your players aren't going to play well. And, I've always said this about, I don't know if it's football in general or just Villa. I've always felt Villa are such a confidence team. It's all about like being on like Villa seem to go on runs. They go on runs of winning games. And I don't know whether that's just football because I don't follow other teams enough. So I just think of it as just Villa. But, and I've thought it in the past because we've generally tended to have quite a young squad. So I've always thought youth, it's all about confidence. Whereas this team, it's quite, it's actually quite old. I don't know where we go from here. We're all just sitting here waiting for it to work. And I just don't know what that is.
Well, mate, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, like it comes down to the basics. Like and you're not gonna. Confidence is key, right? But how you build confidence is by when it's low and things aren't going for you, because that happens
do the
in
basic
football.
stuff.
Right.
Keep the
so you go. What can you control? What can you control? Because with the Premier League, it's VAR, it's fucking. There's all these kind of outside influences that can distract you from the main target, right? So you have to. Like in life, you can only control what you can control, and you can control the work rate, you can control the effort, you can control doing the basics well, looking for basic patterns of play. And in what's really deeply concerning for me in those first 4 games now, we've shown none of that. Like we've struggled to put. So when you said about the Palace game, when we were like, we're up for it, and it's not the formation, mate. That will work. It's the players within it that aren't working hard enough to make it work. Like it's like you could say, like, Gasson looked completely clueless defensively, but yet on Saturday when he came on at half time, he looked really good. He was cutting into G. That was another push point, but he really got into Grealish. He was trying to wind him up, and I thought, okay, I like that. But it was all defensive stuff going forward. Again, it looks there's no. Either we haven't worked on it or they don't like each other. There's something going on and that happens in football, right? Now you've got to get over that, like, because you're going to work with people you don't like, right? But you've got to be able to try and do stuff that makes the team tick, right?
You don't always like everyone you work with, but you respect them.
I've played football with some absolute fucking bellends off the pitch, right? But on a football field, when you know they're good footballers, you just go, right, this is what we got to do. Like, and it is basic stuff, but if you can't get that right, and and there's no chemistry in that attacking flow, then you just end up with nothing, because all you do is you give the ball away, you don't make the right decisions when you're in key areas, and you make it very easy for the opposition to defend against. And we are simple to play against at the moment. Like it must be an absolute dream. I bet Sunderland are fucking licking their lips.
Yeah, because they look all right. They look decent as well.
And that's
They're
downside.
right.
And people are going, we should, people have said to us, haven't we, when we had, Ben and Sam on last week, about kind of, these shouldn't be difficult games, Everton and Sunderland, and they shouldn't be on paper. But it's not played on paper, mate. It's played on grass. You've got to fucking turn up and do a job. And if you don't, I don't care who you are in the Premier League, you'll get beat if you don't do that. Like against anybody. That's the greatness of the Premier League. And Sunderland are fighting for their lives. They've had a great transfer window, and they want to stay in this division. And how do you do that? You get points on the board early because you don't want to be fighting to claw them back. So Sunderland may well still be down there at the end of the season because there's no guarantees, But they've started brilliantly, and that builds confidence too. It's not about playing fantastic flowing football. I don't even want that necessarily. It's about the grind. It's about working for each other and grinding out results. And I think it comes down to you said it earlier. The frustrating thing is we know they can do it. We've watched them do it, and they're just not doing it. And so I don't want to say they're purposefully down in tools, but that's kind of how it feels. Do you know what I mean? You go, well, you're not doing what. It's not even about, like you say, being the flair stuff. It's about you're not doing the basics. Why aren't you doing the basics? I don't understand. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I felt massively deflated on Saturday night. I did, and I did a TikTok live, and I
can't tell.
You can't tell.
Never would have known, mate. Never would have known.
You know how usually upbeat I am about these things. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God. Anyway, I wanted to. I mean, one last downer probably to say before we get quickly onto the Brentford game ahead of that. Arguably, we should have lost to Newcastle. We should have lost. If they had Isak up front, we would have lost that game. If they had a striker, we would have lost that game.
We should have been 3-0 down at half.
Yeah, 3-0 down, right? We should have lost this game.
Yeah.
We should be on 0 points.
Yeah.
We should be on no points after 5 games. We're lucky to be on 2. So, we need to be looking at this as, it is really bad. And I just don't... I don't know what to do. But anyway, let's move on from that.
Mate, the thing is, it doesn't feel as catastrophic as, say, Wolves or West Ham, or it doesn't feel like the whole club's falling apart. These are very fixable things, and as I said at the start,
we've got the players to do it. That's like we said.
The last time Emery had this poor start, Sevilla finished 5th and won the Europa League.
And remember we had that period under Emery where we were getting battered. I think we conceded. We got battered 3-0, 4-0, all this kind of stuff. And then we went on a run of about 9 games or 8 games of clean sheets and winning games and grinding out results. So we know we can do it. Football changes very quickly. Like we said, goals change games. They don't just change games, they change seasons. There's these kind of big turning moments. So let's just hope something happens. First off, tomorrow, I would whilst I don't really care about the cup, I would like a result just to get a bit of positivity around this club.
So exactly that, mate. We've got to use that as we've just talked about, the confidence of building the confidence. Take the pressure off, as we just said, and go. Let's go all out and try and beat Brentford away. We got nothing to lose. We've literally got nothing to lose
on that game. Obviously, we've played them once already, and it was a hard watch. Lost 1-0. Scored, parked the bus. They might try and do the same because they know it's effective against us. Do you think Emery rings in the changes, or do you think he sticks with this team?
Mate, I think you have to ring in the changes. I think you have to because players need minutes, and it's the only way you're gonna. If you're gonna build any chemistry, you need to get them playing.
So if he rings in the changes, and by changes, give us a rough team that you think that would be.
Okay, so
the main
for
changes.
Me, so for me, it's all in the final third, but I would, I just wouldn't play Pau Torres.
He probably will.
He will. I just wouldn't do it, but he will. So I think he might go Torres and Lindelof. I think he might do that at centre back and give Konza and Mings a rest. Got to play Maatsen. Has to play Maatsen down the left-hand side. I think it's going to be Cash because we've got no one else to play right back unless he plays Konza out there or he plays Bogard out there. Kamara might feature. I think he's on his way back. He might be on the bench. I don't know if he'll play. Tillemans looks like he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Apparently, that's I read. I read that somewhere. I don't know how true that is. That might be bullshit. So I've only read it. It was on Twitter, so don't know if it's true. So if you got, so again, Bogard could play holding again. I think he deserves to keep his place. I think he played with, like I say, my man of the match. Probably Bizzart in goal as well. Go with that. I don't think Martinez will play in this game. So Bogard, and I guess I would play McGinn. I would play McGinn in that middle with Bogard, and then for me, I'd drop Ollie Watkins and Rodgers. I wouldn't have them anywhere near the team. I think they've been shit.
I'll go Buendia and Marlon, and I'd bang Harvey Elliott and either Gesson or Sancho if he's willing to.
Mate, Sancho, I think Sancho will. I don't think he'll start, but I think we've got to see him. I think bring him on in the second half an hour or so, right? And that's what you got to go for. And then what you need to see from these players is, okay, right, you're not starting, so show me that you want to give me a headache. Like, mate, do the basic stuff. Like Buendia, like, as much as I'm not I don't think he's good enough. Like Premier, I like him as a player. I like him as an individual. I think he's I've got a soft spot for him, but I just don't think he's good enough, you know. And but he always brings heart, mate. He always brings heart, and you know, that's something we need in abundance. And like I said, when Harvey Elliott in the 15 minutes ago, he ran around like a blue arse fly, mate. But we got to get everyone with that energy. We need everybody with that energy, because if you have 4 players closing down like that from the get go, like, you're gonna make teams make mistakes. So even if they decide to park the bus, like, if you've got that energy and you're constantly moving and you're constantly, like, you're going to create something. Like, it's going to be, it's a struggle, it's difficult. That's why we love football, because it becomes, actually, it's about individual brilliance then, and kind of, if we can play quick 1-2s and get in behind, like, Brentford aren't brilliant defensively either. Even Brentford fans will admit that, like, you know, but they've got fight and passion, and they're coming off a brilliant result against Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? That you know, they'll be buzzing, and they've already beaten us. So again, I think they go into this game as favourites. But we've got nothing to lose. Try that. I mean, we all know how well we get lineups right. So what'll happen is it'll be the same team that's fucking started against Everton, and we'll lose.
Well, my question was going to be, if we make these changes and we show up and we win 3-0, what does he do against Sunderland?
Well, again, mate, I'm old school, old fashioned. Like, you know, there's certain players that you can't drop, right? And defensively, I think you keep with that back 4 that played against Everton, because it's solid, right? Although I still would prefer Maatsen to Dina at the moment, just to have an extra, because at least Maatsen will look to get right down the byline and get crosses in, and he can shoot, where Dina just hasn't got that quality going forward. But then that attacking line, mate, it should be up for grabs if you're performing and in the back of the net. Like, if we win that game, if we win the game tomorrow and score goals, they got to start against Sunderland. You got to, but he won't do that, and that's what's frustrating. Because, and how do you get competition in your team? How do you get desire and passion at once?
Well, how do you get players competing for other teams' places when they don't get minutes?
Yeah,
like we find all these players, and they're just not getting minutes.
How do you get the likes of Daniel Marlon to perform at a high level? Yeah. Right, even if he does score goals, he gets dropped the next game. Like, you go, well, what do I like? That's how football should work. You're supposed to spear people on, and if it's working, like, you find a way to. You know what's really frustrating, because Emery's put a lot of square pegs in round holes with other players. Yeah, he won't do it up front. Like, it's like Watkins has got to start at the top of that, and we've got to play these players. Like, why can't you mix it up? Play Watkins out on the left, he can fucking do it, right? Play Gassard down the middle, right? And play one like, right? Play Gassard down the right and put Marlon up top. Like, why can't we mix it up? I don't understand. Like, he'll do it against the back 4, and he'll play fucking Conzer at right back, and and play Bogard wherever. Like, it just makes no sense in my head. Like, when you're trying to score goals, like, a bit of creativity, a bit of, like, unpredictability against teams that, because at the moment, like, I think we're just too predictable to play against. But
sorry, one of my mates has literally just messaged me going, "Reckon you guys will score a goal this season?" Perfect timing.
Right, and don't get me started on the blue. Right, the amount of comments I've had on TikTok.
No, don't. Anyway, I mean, it's in this. We're going to end here, but this is the last note. Is we are the only team in the entirety of the English leagues, 7 divisions, to have not scored a goal.
Yeah, it's not a great stat.
7 divisions. 7 divisions. What's that? 160 or 170 teams? That's
172 teams.
bonkers. No. 72 is just the top 3 division, mate. It's like
no, 100. I said 172. I think.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 170. Yeah. I just don't. Yeah. Anyway,
mate, it's a somber mood. But look, I'm sticking by this quote of the day. In the good words of my good Dr. Brian Cox, Professor Brian Cox, things can only get better, mate. Things can only get better.
Yeah, we need to play that at the start of the next episode. So obviously tomorrow we will be doing a live watch along. We will be online from about 7:45. We'll be watching that. I'll probably be in here or in my lounge or something watching the game. I'll have to keep it a little bit stum because my son will be asleep above.
I'll make all the noise, mate.
Join us. We will stay for about, probably about 20 minutes to half an hour after the game as well. So we'll be online from about 7:45 to about 10:30. Please do join us. And as always, if you like this video, please give us a like, a subscribe. Have we hit 1,500 yet? We're so close.
3 short, mate. 3 short.
3 short. 3. Right. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, just subscribe and you can unsubscribe afterwards if you want. I just want to hit that. I just want to hit 1,500. This is ridiculous. 14.97 is absolutely killing me. I keep refreshing it. I'm like, why is no one subscribed? But as always, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know in the comments. Are you frustrated? I think most Villa fans at the moment are pretty frustrated. What do you think changes it? Is it just personnel? How the players, they're not happy? Have they lost the dressing room? Is there something happening behind the scenes that we just don't know about? Let us know what you think below. Gaz, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, and I'm going to stick with, mate, a try and positive note that, like I say, the last time Emery started this poorly, and it was for Sevilla, that he ended up finishing 5th and winning the Europa League. So it's still in Emery we trust. Like, I was hoping our season would have started on Saturday. It hasn't. It looks like it's going to take a little bit of time. So maybe it can start tomorrow with a little bit of impetus from. I hope to see a fully changed squad and hopefully a goal. And like you say, maybe that will change it, and then we can go to the weekend's game against Sunderland with a little bit of optimism, hopefully, and our Thursday preview can be, Wednesday preview can be
not miserable. I'm so fed up of moaning. I'm so fed up of moaning. Like,
I don't want to do it, mate. I want to be positive. I do.
Yeah, if I'm honest, tomorrow, even if we don't get the result, I just want us to play positive, have a shot or two, have a chance to score one
mate,
goal.
I tell you what, even if we lose the game, if we score, mate, I'm going mental. Like, that's it. The season starts here. Like,
lose 5-1, but we scored a goal. Get it. Jeez. Anyway, right. Sing us out then, guys, mate.
Yes, mate. This is for tomorrow. Come on, the Villa boys. Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Peace and love.
Yeah.